Good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing out there? Today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually test out the newest modification I've done to Donnie. That's right, Donnie is my 2013 6R80 Mustang. I bought this car with the purpose of building like a daily driver car, do a couple of NA mods, but we've always said we're gonna go right to blower with this thing. We're not gonna rag this car out in terms of naturally aspirated. The goal naturally aspirated is to get into the 11s somewhere, nothing crazy. The car has minimal mods, PMAS cold air, 2018 Mustang manifold ported by 1320 Junkie, ultimate headers, LU47s, so that we can use an E85 Lund tune. That's something you would do at home if this was your daily driver. But what I've installed now, or I had installed by Thunder Autosports in Boynton Beach, Florida, is a Circle D torque converter, a 2B variant. Now, why a 2B? Well, Circle D must have been watching my channel, or someone at Circle D must have been watching my channel and said, look, he's going to put a 2.3 liter TVS blower on this car. So let's set him up for success. Let's send him a torque converter that is already configured for TVS, you know, good torque delivery, low RPM power, favorability. So the 2B converter seems to be something that they favor. I like the 3C and the 4C, but those are more suited for centrifugals that need more RPM to get them going, because they don't make any power until about 5,000 RPMs, whereas a TVS at 2,800, 3,200 makes a ton of snot. So let's go ahead and test this out. Let's get some driving impressions. I'm just gonna drive it around just to show you how the gear stack is. It is interesting how drastically the gear stack changes once you raise the stall speed slightly on these cars. I think you guys will like it, and then we're going to see if we can 60 foot the car better. It is very hot today. I don't think it's going to go into the 11s, but we'll see if the 60 foot can get into the ones. We have never hit a 1 point anything 60 foot. It's all been 2.0, 209, 206. So let's see if we can get into the 1.9s, and if it does a 1.9, let's ride it out the back and let's see if we can get this thing into the 11s. All right, so this is the stock torque converters. Thunder Autosports was nice enough to just to throw it back in the box for me. So bone stock converter, as you can tell, nothing crazy. So, but what came in this thing was, I believe, a 2B variant. I don't know if there's any markings on the side or anything, but they did have a little sheet, and on another video I showed you guys that this was a 2B variant. So let me see, it doesn't say. Here we go. Right there, 6R80 Pro Series multi 258mm 2B is what is in this thing. Just wanted to show you guys the part number in case you guys were curious as to what's actually in this thing. Finally, I'm at, bumper to bumper-ish traffic, so you'll be able to hear and see the RPM drop. It seems to, wherever it shifts, it kind of stays. So if I bring it all the way up to 3,000 RPMs in first gear, it'll stay there. If I bring it up to 2,000 RPMs and let it shift, meaning via pedal position, like, I'm surprised a lot of you guys don't know how to drive an auto. Second, third, torque converted lockup, fourth gear, fifth gear. So that's it. And I'm going, 65 miles an hour. That's exactly how a aftermarket torque converter feels and looks. It keeps the RPMs high. The coupling is not super massive. It's subtle. It almost feels like a gear shift. But when you have experience and know that it's a torque converter lockup situation, you'll know what to expect and you'll know how to drive it. All right, that's enough part throttle driving stuff. Let's go out there and see if we can improve on the 60 foot. Again, the best 60 foot this thing ever had was a 2.0. Let's see if we can get into the 1.9s. Let's see if fresher asphalt helps. So I didn't think I'd have this issue, but I'm having trouble hooking. No matter what I do, it blazes the tire in first gear. So what I can do is get weight in the trunk, but if I get weight in the trunk, then now it's heavier. Now it might not perform better at the top end. It's shifting where it needs to shift. I'm happy about that, but it's probably gonna be difficult to hook this car on these tires with this converter, with these mods, and I didn't think that'd be the case. So what do I do? I don't think a set of drag radials is going to work like a set of 15s. I don't think they'll work any better than the 19s. If anything, the 19s help a little bit because of the diameter. Boy, yeah, I guess I'm going to have to keep looking for a better road where there's concrete and see, because of the torque converter, now I need just a better surface to work with. Well, there you have it. One of the more difficult things to do, I've noticed, especially with an automatic car, is to launch it in unfavorable conditions. Most of the roads I was on in Mexico are asphalt or concrete that runs along the same line as, let's say, the road. For example, typically concrete, the way it's laid down, you want it to be against the tread. Well, these are like along the tread. And I couldn't really find a spot that had a decent amount of concrete laid down that was going against the tread. I did find one spot. Unfortunately, that's the same spot in Mexico where I got caught doing 130. So I was very leery about doing that again. But the 2B converter did exactly what it was supposed to do. It cut down the 60-foot dramatically, almost a full tenth on the street. So maybe a tenth and a half. Now, you and I know that if I go to a track with sticky rubber, I can go 11s. If I wait until, let's say, December or January and put a drag pack and do a couple of things, I can probably get this thing down to 11.8, maybe 11.7 in extremely favorable conditions. Now, depending on the supercharger availability, because I want a Roush 2.3 liter supercharger, period. I don't want anything else. I might keep chugging away to see how deep in the 11s I can go, but I'm not going to install lightweight brakes. I am not going to remove the interior. What I am going to do is probably install a drag pack, probably install a trans brake, and more than likely take it to the track on a cooler day so that I can see how deep I can get a Gen 1 Mustang into the 11s. Remember, guys, dark horses, like fully loaded, top of the line dark horses, are in the 11s. They do 0 to 60 in about 3.9. This did it in 4.041. So you can have an older Gen 1 with modifications and some tuning to run as good as the top of the line current model that Ford is offering out there, which is a 10R80 dark horse. Hell, any 10R80 Mustang, in my opinion, is hard to deal with because they are either low 12-second cars, or if they're very basic cars, they're high 11-second cars. So with some bolt-ons, if this car can live in the 11s in good weather, remember guys, it's Florida, it's muggy, it's hot, there's no air available. So the fact that this thing went 12.0 in 86, 87 degree air with the DA being over 2300, which doesn't sound high, but again, there is a lot of moisture in the air. I think it's a pretty good representation of what a Circle D converter can do for your Mustang. So I can either take it to the track as is to give you a better comparison. I can just throw a drag pack on it and keep progressing, or I can wait for a supercharger and see what happens there. You guys let me know in the comments if you want me to keep chugging away at the NA time and see what I can get out of it without king gutting it and putting brakes on it, meaning just maybe some suspension parts, some wheels and tires that are lightweight, and then tune away at it to see if I can get it into the 11.7, 11.6 range. I don't know if I can get 11.6 out of it, but I'll do my best to get you guys as much content as possible before a supercharger goes on it. Anyway, as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I want to thank Circle D for providing the converter, and I also want to thank Thunder Autosports in Boynton Beach, Florida, for doing a great install, great price, got it done in one day. Couldn't ask for anything better. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you later.